What's this? A brand new Decade upload. Let's see what this is about.
Let's get right into the new structured deck. It's ninjas! Let's go! First global with ninjas back in the day, and so flip down.
Damn, this looks
All right,
really
flip down,
fun,
result,
actually.
activating that.
Finally! It's no longer just a myth. The Ninja Structure Deck has been released into Master Duel, right in time for the brand new Fusion XYZ event, which is fantastic considering this deck list is based around mostly Fusion boss monsters anyway, so you know we've got to try it out.
The f you say to me, you little shit?
So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of people watching this are even subscribed to the channel, meaning 65% of you haven't even subscribed yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content and want to see more videos from me in the future or more deck lists from me in the future, remember to like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so fair warning before we get into this deck list so I don't get any really annoying comments asking about it. Why is there no Link Monster in here? Why is there no Pot of Prosperity in here? This deck list, it's built for the Fusion XYZ Festival event. That means the Link Monster, unfortunately, is banned for the event, so I cannot use it. Otherwise, of course I'd be using it, of course I'd be using Pot of Prosperity, but I wanted to build this deck list for the event. That was the whole point of the video, so that's basically it. If you want to convert this deck list into a ladder deck list, basically just add the Link Monster into the extra deck, the Ninja Link Monster, and add Pot of Prosperity into the main deck. Probably just cut a your Feather Duster or something, and that's basically your standard ladder deck list anyway. So Ninja just got itself a major upgrade. Basically it went from a deck list that was beyond unplayable to an archetype that actually does something now. Now this deck list, I wouldn't say it's some sort of top tier meta contender or anything like that, but during an event like the Fusion XYZ Festival, people are playing loner decks and some more off meta-ish sort of stuff, this deck list can really shine. Especially because we just got ourselves two brand new boss monsters for the deck list. Starting off with your Meizen. Now keep in mind, both these boss monsters, they don't actually require any sort of polymerization or fusion spell to summon them out. You can just slam them on the field as long as you meet the requirements of just two ninja monsters with different types. Your Meizen, basically whenever your opponent activates any sort of card effect, you can just grab any ninja from your deck list and summon it straight to the field. Which is pretty crazy when you have cards like your Gravity, which on summon will just target two cards your opponent controls and flip them face down. So basically, this card becomes a Book of Moon for 2 as soon as your opponent activates any sort of card effect. The other fusion monster for the deck list is of course going to be your Armor, and this card is very simple. Basically, you can summon this thing out, and when you do so, by banishing a ninja monster from your graveyard or a ninja card from your graveyard, you can just target one of your opponent's cards and just simply banish it. And the reason this card is so goddamn useful in this deck is because it's summonable during your opponent's turn. Thanks to, of course, your Sky Ninja, which just during your opponent's main phase, you can activate its effect, use this card and any other ninja card in your hand or on the field to fusion summon out one of your two new fusion boss monsters. It also has a nice little bonus effect where you can discard it to then summon out a ninja card from your hand as well. Alright, going on to more of the other main deck monsters, we've got your Insect Ninja. This card is really cool. It's a monster negate when it's face up on the field by simply flipping one of your cards face up, and it's also special summonable from your hand if you have another ninja card on the field. Alright, then we have your Green Ninja. This card when on the field, when it's sent to the graveyard, can target one of your opponent's cards and flip it face down, and that's the main reason you're using it, because you'll summon this during your opponent's turn quite often, and then have an extra little Book of Moon effect to use during their turn. Alright, then we have your Beast Ninja. This card's a bit of an extender card where you can add it to your hand, and when it's added to hand, it can special summon itself to the field. We have your Hanzo, which is of course your main searcher for the deck list. This card on normal summon can add one of your Ninjitsu Art cards from your deck to your hand, and when this card is flip summoned or special summoned, you can add one ninja card from your deck to your hand. Then we have your Cannon Ninja, another nice little sort of extendery card that can also recur some of your stuff back from the graveyard. And of course, we mentioned this guy earlier, summon this dude to the field, flip two cards face down, and also has a nice little bonus effect, if a card on your field is flipped face up, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. Moving on to the spell and trap cards, we'll start with the most important one of course, being your Ninjitsu Art of Duplication. This card is crazy, and I'm almost considering running a third copy of this, because this card is really goddamn insane. Basically, let's say you've got Hanzo, activate Hanzo's effect, search for this card, set it face down. You then activate this card's effect, tributing off one of your ninjas on the field, then summon out any amount of ninjas from the deck list up to the level that you just tributed. So for example, your Hanzo's level 4, so you can summon out up to level 4 worth of ninjas. Therefore, you can summon out a quick effect fusion summon during your opponent's turn, in combination with a monster negate or a Book of Moon effect, and another copy of this card. So from just these cards alone, to this one card combo for Hanzo, you've ended on a quick effects fusion summon into one of your boss monsters, a potential monster negate, a potential Book of Moon effect, and an extra ninja as well. So just crazy stuff. You'll see it during all the combos and during all the replays I show today, because it's just absolutely insane, and it's just the main reason this deck list actually functions. But that's not the only insane trap card in the deck list. We've also got your Dancing Leaves. This card can be activated by targeting one ninja monster or one face down defense position monster on the field. Tribute it. If you do, special summon out one ninja monster from your deck, which is obviously an insane effect. We've got a bunch of Book of Moons, a bunch of Book of Eclipses that can just flip your opponent's stuff face down. You've also of course got your green, and we've got this dude. All this stuff flips your opponent's stuff face down, so this trap card can then tribute them to summon out other ninja monsters straight from the deck list. Pretty insane. It also has a nice little bonus effect where you can target your own Ninjitsu trap cards and actually bounce them back to your hand, then use them for later on for future turns. But keep in mind you can only use one effect per turn, and also keep in mind if you plan to bounce this card specifically back to your hand, when this card leaves the field it does destroy the monsters it summons, so make sure you use the monsters to go into fusion monsters or something first, before using this card's effect to bounce them. And finally we have your ninja spell cards, starting with the Equip spell. The equipped monster gains 500 attack, also is treated as a ninja monster. Very important when you have a trap card that can tribute ninja monsters, because you use this thing, target one of your opponent's cards, turn it into a ninja, your trap card can then remove it. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can banish one ninja monster from your graveyard to then target one card on the field and destroy it. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished ninja monsters, add it to your hand, or special summon it in face down defense position. Now you might have noticed, this thing has a nice little combo with itself, because you can use this card, target one of your opponent's monsters, use this effect to banish a ninja from your graveyard, destroying that opponent's monster you just equipped this thing to, sending it to the graveyard, which then grabs back that banished monster you just banished and either special summons it to the field or adds it to your hand, so it combos really well with just itself. And the final card in the deck list is going to be your Quick Play spell, which is arguably one of the stronger cards in the deck list. This thing generates a shit ton of value just by itself. If your opponent controls a card, you can set up to one ninja monster and up to one Ninjitsu Art spell and trap card except itself. These cards come from your deck and or your graveyard, but only one can come from each. So basically, you activate this thing, grab one of your ninja monsters from the graveyard that you just used for a fusion summon or something, and grab one of your Ninjitsu spell and trap cards from your deck list and slam it on the field as well, which is really important because you can grab things like your Equip spell, which can be used immediately to then remove your opponent's stuff, or you can grab one of your trap cards for follow-up during your opponent's turn. It also has a nice little bonus effect, where if it leaves the field when it's set on the field, you can target one face-up monster on the field and just change it to face-down defense position. So yet again, another nice little Book of Moon effect for the deck list. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the deck list portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay showcasing the deck list in action, and without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. Alright, so for today's video, I decided to do a bit of a mix of some combo examples and then a bunch of replays at the end to give you guys a real good idea of just how to get into this deck list and how to get started playing it, rather than just showing a bunch of combos or showing only replays. I thought I'd just do a bit of a mix of both. So to start off, we'll go off with the combos. So I'm going to be showing you 3 combos today, 2 of which are going to be more of a variation of each other, and the third one's going to be a bit more of an extendary sort of ending on a bigger sort of end board sort of a play. Unfortunately with Ninja, most of their combos, if not all of them, are mostly just based around Hanzo. If you don't open your Hanzo, the deck isn't dead by any means, there's still plenty of things you can sort of do, but they're all going to feel a lot worse than if you just opened the Hanzo. So the only combos I'm going to be showing you today are the Hanzo combos. If you don't open Hanzo, the deck isn't dead, but after you've sort of played the deck for a while and learnt what all the cards do, you'll sort of have ways to sort of play out a hand even without the Hanzo. But for today, I'm just going to show off the Hanzo combos. So first of all, normal summon out your Hanzo. And this will give you a copy of your trap card. You're going to be grabbing your duplication. Now, obviously for my combo examples, as you guys know, just pretend the rest of my hand is absolute bricks other than the one card combo I'm showing. So all these cards are just complete bricks, pretend they're whatever, and we're just going to pass the turn here. Alright. Then as soon as my opponent's turn starts, I can activate my Art of Duplication to tribute off my Hanzo. And because my Hanzo is level 4, I can now summon out ninjas from the deck up to level 4. So, this allows me to summon out a copy of your Sky Ninja, very important, as it allows me to fusion summon during my opponent's turn. I can summon out a copy of a level 2 monster, which in this case you get a bit of a choice. You can either summon out a Book of Moon to use during your opponent's turn, or a flip face down, or you can summon out a copy of your insect, which gives you a monster negate. In this case, I'm going to summon out the Green Ninja, so a nice little Book of Moon effect. And that just purely depends on what sort of matchup you're up against, what you're expecting to be facing, so you summon out whichever one you feel like. Alright, and if you're summoning green, obviously you put it face down. If you're summoning out the other one, you want it face up, because then you have a monster negate. Alright, and finally, because you have one more level left, you can summon out just an extra Sky Ninja. Alright, and then you can choose whatever order you like. Alright, from here my opponent gets to play the game. We'll see what he does. He summons out a very scary feral imp. And in this situation, I can now use my Sky Ninja. Then summon out a copy of your fusion monster, using the Green Ninja on field and the Sky Ninja. Alright, so using green, using this. Alright. Your armor now gets the ability to banish a ninja card from your graveyard to banish a card on the field, and your green ninja can target a card on the field and flip it face down. So in this case, we're going to use my armor ninja effect first. I'm going to be banishing something from the graveyard, a Hanzo, whichever one you feel like. Banishing this card, and in this case, the green ninja is going to flip something face down, which doesn't matter because I'm going to be banishing it in this case. But yeah, that's your first sort of standard turn 1 play, and there's a different variation of this, which I'm going to be showing you right now. Alright, so for our second example, like I said, it's basically going to be very similar start to the first combo, but it's going to be a bit of a different variation. Does a couple of things differently. So first of all, you summon out your Hanzo. Alright, Hanzo's going to grab your trap card. Then once again, we're going to pretend the rest of my hand is complete bricks and you can't do anything else here, and we're just going to pass the turn. Alright, so as soon as my opponent's turn starts, once again, I can use my duplication, tributing off my Hanzo, and summoning out a bunch of cards. In this case, because we're doing a different variation, we might as well show off the other summon you can do that isn't going to be your green. You can summon your green here again, but in this case, we're going to summon out the Insect Ninja this time, putting that one face up. And summoning out your Sky Ninja. Then once again, putting another card face down as well, so putting your extra Tobari here face down. Alright, then my opponent activates a monster effect. I now have a negate for it. I'm hoping the AI has one here. He does. Alright, so he activates a monster effect. I don't like that effect, it looks kind of scary. So I'm going to use my Insect Ninja to flip this card face up, which will therefore then just negate the effect. Alright, then I can also use this card's effect. I can also use the one that I just flipped face up, but I'm going to use this one's effect. Summon out a copy of my Meizen. Alright, using this card, and we'll use this dude here, why not? Alright, summoning out your Meizen. Now Meizen's pretty cool, because as soon as my opponent activates some kind of effect, I'll show it off when it activates one. So my opponent activates an effect, I'm now going to use my Meizen's effect to then special summon out a ninja straight from the deck. Alright, so activating my Meizen. In this case, we're just going to summon out our big boss monster. And this is generally why we're playing 2 copies of this, because as you'll notice, I actually have one in my hand currently, and Meizen can only summon from the deck, so it feels pretty bad if you happen to open one, you have no way to summon it, then you're just not going to have your option to summon out one from deck. So playing a second one means you can't really brick with it like this. So summoning my dude straight from the deck. Now, normally if my opponent had, let's say, 2 cards face up, I would give it a short draw card. If my opponent had 2 cards face up, I could then flip 2 cards face down. Unfortunately, my opponent only has 1, so I can only show off flipping 1 face down. But normally, in fact, we'll just flip my own monster face down, because why not? But yeah, you can flip 2 cards face down. And that's basically the other variation of this combo. And by the way, that card draw we just showed there came from this Monarch, didn't come from the combo. That was just what the AI was doing. So anyways, let's move on to the third combo. Alright, on to your third and final combo. And this combo is basically like the same as the first 2 combos, but combined together, and ends on quite an insane end field during your opponent's turn. Alright, so to do this combo, you just need Hanzo in combination with any other ninja on the field. You just need a ninja on the field for your nice little contact fusion to summon out one from your extra deck. So basically, just need extra on the field, doesn't matter which or how you get it there. You can use your insect, just needs an extra ninja on the field to summon it out from your hand. You can use your Sky Ninja, which just summons it, you can discard it to summon out ninja from hand. However you do it, you just need a second ninja on the field to go with your Hanzo. So activate your Hanzo's effect. This will search for your trap card as per usual, your duplication. Then summon out whatever other ninja you've got to get on the field. Alright, now these two monsters you can use to summon out a copy of your Meizen, and you don't need to use any sort of polymerization or anything here, you can just summon it out and slam it on the field. Doesn't matter where you summon it because you'll be tributing it anyway during your opponent's turn. Alright, then we're passing it over. And now we're just waiting for our opponent to use any sort of effect. Alright, so he uses his Thunder Dragon over here, so now I can use my Battle Ninja to summon out a ninja straight from the deck list. Now normally you would wait on this, you'd wait until your opponent actually has something on the field for me to flip face down, but I'm not really sure what the AI is going to do, so in case the AI opponent doesn't actually do anything, I'm going to summon it out here, but normally you'd wait for your opponent to actually have some stuff, because this card obviously on summon can flip some shit face down. So your opponent might have two monsters on the field, you'd activate this card's effect, and you'd flip two cards face down right now. But in this case, opponent has nothing, so we're not going to do that. Alright, then we can actually use our duplication here to tribute off our Battle Ninja. In doing so, you can now summon out a whole bunch of ninjas from the deck list. You're going to be summoning out your Sky, you're going to be summoning out your Green, you of course can summon out your Monster Negate itself, the insect, and summon out another copy of Sky as well. And then from here, depending on what your opponent does, hopefully the AI will actually activate some sort of monster effect here, but in case he doesn't, I'll just explain what this does anyway. If my opponent activates a monster effect here, of course your insect effect will trigger, so then flip one of your monsters face up, negating the monster effect, and because you flipped a monster face up, this card could actually then destroy a card on the field as well. So you get a monster negate, you get a destroy, and of course we still have your quick effect from this to summon out your fusion monster during your opponent's turn, to then banish a card on the field as well. So you got a negate, a destroy, and a banish, on top of that flip face down that you had from the start of the turn from this card. All from just two cards. Alright, so we'll see if our opponent actually uses a monster effect here, or if we he's not going to do it. But in this case, you use this card's effect, summoning out your dude. Of course, we're going to use the Green Ninja, because in doing so, we actually get another flip face down, which I forgot to mention. So we'd use our banish here, we've got a flip face down. In this case, our opponent actually only has one card on the field, so we're going to have to target the same card twice, but yeah. So we'd have a banish, a flip face down, and we still have our monster negate, and we still have a destroy if we do get to use that monster negate. Unfortunately, I doubt our opponent's going to do anything here, so yeah, he just ends his turn. But I'll show what it would have done anyway if we just pass the turn over. So basically, we just pretend our opponent used the monster effect during his turn, and in doing so, we would have flipped this thing face up to negate it, triggered this card's effect, and pop a card on the field as well. And yeah, that's basically the strongest end field you'll generally get with ninjas. Alright, on to the replay examples. Now unfortunately, I do want to preface this by saying, these replays, they're not the greatest examples, and unfortunately, it's really hard for me to get really good replay examples from an event, because if I want to play in the event, I want to get the replays from the event, which is the whole point of this video. I had to play in a format which is essentially casual duel. If your opponent thinks they're going to lose, they just concede, because there's no downside to conceding. There's no demotion. If they lose the coin toss, they might concede. If you summon one monster, activate one trap card, activate an Ash Blossom or something, your opponent generally just goes, screw this, I'm conceding, going next, and trying to farm the gems from the next game, trying to win the coin toss. So it's really hard to get really insane replays. So yeah, I've tried to gather a couple just showing off some general examples of what this deck does, so you get a general gist of what it does. But yeah, it's really hard to gain really cool replays, so hopefully though, just by watching these replays, you guys get a general gist of what the deck does, or a general feel for it, so you can take it into your own event ladder or your own ranks ladder and just mess around with it yourself. So, alright, let's get into it. Alright, also keep in mind I'm not the greatest ninja player ever, I'm pretty shit actually, so I just know the basic combo. Alright. Up against an Exosister player. He's just summoning out his general Exosistery stuff. Going for his Caspatel, summoning out the other Exosister, using the 2 Exosisters, going to the big one. You've seen this all before. Before finally ending on the big Exosister, and I think 1 trap card he said as well. Alright, summoning out his Magnifica. Alright, our turn starts and we draw a second Book of Moon, which is very, very useful. Alright, it's Book of Mooning his first monster. He's going to obviously use its effect. This means we can then Book of Moon the second card, of course. Making sure he has absolutely no Exorcists on the field and no quick effects. And we're good to go. Alright, so starting off by summoning out our monster, because we have a ninja on the field, we can now special summon out our insect. Unfortunately, our opponent has a Maxx, so he's going to draw some cards. Because for some reason, by the way, Maxx is in this event. Don't ask me. Anyway. Alright, now normally I should have waited till I actually had a ninja card in the graveyard for this, then I could have grabbed 2 cards with it. But I wasn't sure if I was going to summon out a ninja from the deck or not with it, which in that case I want to summon it before the Maxx resolved, which is why I used this here. I probably should have waited on this in hindsight, but what can you do? Because normally this card actually grabs you 2 cards. 1 from grave, 1 from deck. Alright, summoning out my dude from hand. These 2 cards can then contact fuse, just summoning out my armor. Banishing a ninja card from the graveyard to banish a card on the field, getting rid of his trap card. Unfortunately, he has a Veiler. But that's fine, because we still actually have now a big monster on the field, and we have our duplication here, of course. Beating over his Exosister and passing the turn. Alright, activating our Ninjitsu, tributing our monster. Our opponent called by the Graves it for some reason. This does mean we don't have access to that first combo line I play to banish one of our opponent's cards, because this thing's obviously negated, but that really doesn't matter too much. Summoning out my dudes. So I have, unfortunately, yeah, my opponent, typical event replay here, my opponent concedes before I get to do anything cool. But here, of course, we had our fusion summon to go into our big ninja. We should obviously summon out another ninja from the deck, flip more cards face down, and this thing can also flip something face down, so our opponent was probably pretty screwed there. And we also had this card as a follow-up to summon out some more resources from deck as well. Alright. Next replay. That's also a good example showing off this deck list going second. I actually think I had more success with this deck during the event going second than going first, which is kind of weird sounding, but it has got a lot of plays you can do going second, especially with that quick play spell card, which is pretty insane. Alright, once again actually going second, but that doesn't matter this time because our opponent was, yeah, doing some trap trick stuff actually. We got Maxx. So in this case, we're just going to set 1 card and set a whole bunch of shit. And we're going to make use of our Ninjitsu dancing here. Dancing leaves. And you notice, by the way, both these replays actually didn't use Hanzo. So there you go. This deck can make plays without Hanzo. Despite what my combos showed. Alright, so we're going to summon out a monster. He's going to swing in. Alright, and now I'm going to use my Ninja's effect to tribute off the monster on the field. He's going to Maxx me, which is fine, I guess. It's during his end phase anyway, so it's whatever. Alright, summoning out a ninja from the deck. Flipping a card face down. This actually baits out the trap hole, which is what I was trying to do, which is why I summoned a big one. Now I can use this card's effect, tributing it, which summons out a whole bunch of ninjas up to level 8 from the deck. In this case, I summoned out definitely not the most optimal ninjas here. I didn't realize Hanzo was a win effect, so this is not even going to resolve. I thought Hanzo was this Hanzo just misses timing. I thought it was an if effect, so unfortunate on that one. This is definitely not the ninjas I sort of summoned, but doesn't really matter. What you saw was just basically the gist of things. I just summoned a shitload of cards from my deck from 1 monster, so crazy value gained. Definitely not the best cards I should have grabbed, but it's whatever, who cares. Alright. We did set up a monster negate now, so my opponent has a hand trap, we at least have a negate for that. And I get rid of it immediately, because I have no brain. Alright. Summoning out my card, so if my opponent resolved his trap card, this thing would have resolved, summoning a ninja from the deck. And then we're going to go to this card to banish a card on the field. Again, doesn't use the trap card because he wasn't able to. But yeah, 2 ninjas on the deck. We've got a We can self-bounce this card back to hand, so then we can reuse this effect to tribute a monster to summon Ninja from the deck, if we want to. Beating over his card, and yeah, our opponent's pretty screwed here. Book of Moon, Imperm, summon Ninja from the Decklist. We've got another copy of Summon another Ninja from the Decklist. Just gonna Book of Moon here, and yeah, my opponent concedes. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you don't, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.